Hi everyone, welcome back to Books with Karen. Today I thought I would do kind of a nice cozy chat about books. I've got a couple of books that I've read recently, so I wanted to give you my overall thoughts on that. I've got a couple of books that I've bought that I'd like to show you. I thought I would show you what I was reading at the moment, and I've got a book advent calendar or a bookish advent calendar that I wanted to share with you that just came. And I'm so excited about it, so I will show you that towards the end of the video. So the books I've read recently, there's two books. I've read the Yeonnam-Dong's Smiley Laundromat by Kim Jiyun. Apologies if I've butchered that name. And this is a Korean translated book. I really enjoyed this book. I gave this a 4.5 stars. So basically what it is about, it's about a group of people who don't know each other. They all just happen to use the same laundromat in the town that they live in. And they've all got problems of their own. There's an old man whose son is married and wants him to sell his house so he can have the money to help his son go to private school. There's a girl that's broke up with her boyfriend. There's a guy whose brother's died. So they've all got their own little problems and they all go to this laundromat separately. And what they find in the laundromat, as well as some nice smelling laundry sheets, is they find a notebook on the table in the laundromat. There's also a coffee machine in there. This sounds like a really good laundromat to me. So they find a notebook on the table in there, and when they start reading it, people have been leaving paragraphs of how they're feeling. So most of them have been feeling down, so they're writing stuff like that in. And then other people have been writing replies to them, encouraging advice and little things that may help them feel better. And one by one, they all write in this book and they all kind of start helping each other and they get to know each other. And it was just a really heartwarming, nice story about people getting together in a community and, you know, a problem shared as a problem halved and all that kind of stuff. This is a really nice book to read, and somebody said on the back, the reviews by other readers, I will take out this book and read it over and over again whenever my skin needs warmth. And somebody else said, a book that everyone should read at least once. It warms my heart like a blanket just taken out of the dryer. Is there a laundromat like this in our neighbourhood? And I couldn't agree more. I just think this is such a lovely book. The only reason I gave it 4.5 stars and not 5 was because in some places the translation of the Korean was a little bit off. So there was words and phrases that were using that I didn't really understand, and I had to go and look them up. But otherwise, just a lovely book, and yeah, I highly recommend this one. I actually have already done a book journal spread for this book. You may know that I keep a book journal, and I started off by doing a spread for every book I read, but then I decided just to do a spread for the books that I really enjoyed. So this is the one I did for the Smiley Laundromat. I just thought the colours and the stickers and the themes. I've got some washing machines down here and some cups of coffee. There's even a cat in it. So I just thought that really fitted the theme of the book. So I really enjoyed doing that spread. But yeah, highly recommend that book. I have been really enjoying the Korean and Japanese translated fiction lately. So I'll continue to pick ones like that up. The second book I read, I mean, I've had a real good success with the two books I've read, because this one I gave a 5 star to. And this is The Paris Bookshop Secret by Iris Costello. Oh my God, I loved this book. Loved it. I sobbed at this book. it's not necessarily a sobby kind of sad story all the way through, but there is parts of it where it was just so poignant, that I cried. So this is a dual timeline book. It's set in 1960 and in 2025, so it's a recent book, and it follows Blythe, she starts off in 1960 as an 18-year-old girl who's on holiday in Paris with a family. They're from America and they're quite a rich family. And she wanders out on her own one day into a cafe and she meets William, who is a kind of struggling writer working in a bar in Paris, and he takes her to the Paris bookshop. And she falls in love with William and she's trying to be a writer and he kind of encourages that. But things happen and, like all good love stories, it's not a romance, but it is a love story, which I think is a difference. In all good love stories, nothing goes smoothly. And then we go to 2025 and we follow Maeve, who has just lost her father. Her father's died. I think she's in her 40s, and her mother just upped and left one day when she was fairly young. She just got in a camper van and went and left her and her dad behind. And Maeve is trying to find out now that her father is dead. And she inadvertently almost runs into this woman called, did I say Maeve? That girl's name was Alexis. The woman who was looking for her mother is Alexis. She inadvertently almost runs over Maeve O'Malley, who is in this small town, and it seems like she's got dementia. And Alexis takes her back to the house that she lives in, which is like a big mansion kind of castle place, where Maeve is married to Jasper, and there is a housemaid. I can't remember the housemaid's name now, but there's lots of secrets going on there. And the stories tie together as you go through the book, and you find out the links and you find out what happened to Blythe. There is a mystery on who Maeve is. It's kind of pretty obvious from the beginning who Maeve is. But yeah, it is a love story. It is a mystery. It's a dual timeline. It is just a fabulously written book. I love the characters. I love the story. And I love the ending. Definitely a 5-star book. I haven't done a journal spread for this one yet, but I definitely will do, because I think that's maybe one of the best books I've read this year. So yeah, the Paris Bookshop Secret by Iris Costello, and I'm going to go and hunt out to see what other books she's written, because I want to read them. So I've also bought 2 books this month. I'm just going to put my specs on for this in case I need to read anything. I went into TK Maxx. I love the book section in TK Maxx because they have a really good kind of eclectic selection, from non-fiction to fiction, some classics, some modern, and some really nice covers on some of the books as well, some nice editions. So the first one I picked up was Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I've never read this. I'm quite shocked I've never read this, but how pretty is that cover? It reminds us of the Little Women cover that I picked up not so long ago, which we'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, I love that book. It's got like a leathery feel to it. Just an absolutely beautiful book. Just ordinary kind of inside covers, and the writing isn't too bad inside either. That was $7.99, so I couldn't resist picking that up. I don't actually know what Jane Eyre's about, and this book doesn't have like a blurb on it. So I know lots of you will have read Jane Eyre, so let me know in the comments below what you thought of it. But yeah, I will be getting to that eventually, not sure when. And the second book I picked up is The Air Raid Book Club by Annie Lyons. And when I picked this up in TK Maxx, it really reminded me of one of my subscribers and someone who often joins me on our book club lives, and that's Maureen Lowther. This just reminded us of her. I thought, this is right up Maureen's street. So Maureen, if you're watching, I think you would like this book. So it says, a charming, uplifting story, which I like. It says, London 1938, bookseller Gertie Bingham is still grappling with the unimaginable loss of her beloved husband, Harry, and with the lingering sadness of never having had a child of her own. Struggling to run the cherished bookshop she and Harry opened together by herself, Gertie is preparing to sell up and move to the coast until she is asked to take in a young Jewish refugee. When headstrong 15-year-old Hetty Fisher arrives at her door, Gertie fears she has nothing left to give the troubled girl. But when the blitz begins and the lights go out over London, Gertie and Hetty realise that joining forces will make them stronger in the face of adversity, and that books have the power to unite a community in its darkest hour. This book was $2.99, and yeah, it's Ruth Hogan, who I think is another author, says it's a warm and tender tale about the power of friendship and the magic of books. I mean, what sounds better than that? So yeah, looking forward to reading that one. I'll put the links to all these books and things in the description box below, just in case you want to go over and check them out yourself. So I also thought I would chat about, I'll take my specs off because I'm not going to read. I thought I would also chat about a couple of books that I'm reading at the moment. I'm reading two different books at the moment. One's a non-fiction and one's a fiction. I'm reading Little Women. I mean, look at that cover. Another TK Maxx find. Beautiful cover. I've never read Little Women. I've never seen Little Women. Haven't seen the films. Haven't seen the TV series. Haven't read the book. Can't believe I haven't read it. I'm only a couple of chapters in at the moment, but I'm really enjoying it. It's about 4 daughters and the mother who are living in America during the time of, I think it's the Civil War. And the dad he's a vicar. I'm not quite sure what the American version of that is, but he is away at war and they're kind of just getting on with things and helping out with the community and everything like that. And yeah, I think I'm really going to enjoy this book. Just a nice snuggle up on the sofa on these cold autumn days and read that. Yeah, looking forward to reading the rest of it. The other one I'm reading, not so much. This is Retirement Rebel, and it's about Siobhan Daniels, who I believe is a TV and radio presenter, or was. And I wanted to read this. I got this out of the library. I wanted to read this because it said it was about a woman who rebelled against everything and just sold up, bought a camper van and went travelling. And it was supposedly inspirational and challenging ageism and all that. I haven't read very much. I'm just finding this so patronising. It kind of starts where she's talking about she had a bad childhood. I think she had 8 or 9 brothers and sisters, but they had a quite a violent father. So she had a bad childhood. And then we kind of go forward to where she's working in the TV industry and she can't cope. She's, I think she goes through a hysterectomy, so she goes straight into surgical menopause, which is something that I also did, so I could understand. But she can't cope at work. She's crying all the time. Our bosses and that aren't very understanding. She is a single mother whose husband left her when her daughter was 3 or 4, something like that. But she's living in her own house that she owns. And while she's at work, she asks the bosses if she can take a gap year. And they say yes. They can't be that not understanding, can they? So then she sells a house. Her daughter's about to go to university. She sells the house and goes backpacking around the world. And it's just, well, you know, you're supposed to be inspiring to women all over. How many women can sell the house and just take a gap year and go backpacking? And it's like everybody she meets on her travels is just there for her and helping her and encouraging her, and they're fantastic and they love her. And she talks about some young people that she meets in a hostel in the first stop. I think it's in Thailand. And they don't see her as an older woman, even though she's only like 20 years older or something. They don't see her as an older woman. They take her to their hearts, and when she travels to other countries, these younger people seek her out for her companionship, and it's like, really? I'm just... And then she's on about, she's given a talk at a conference about inspiring women to do what she's done, and I haven't even got to the part where she's kind of bought the camper van and travelling the UK. I will continue to read it, but it is getting almost to the point where I can't be bothered with her. She was crying constantly. I think if you're that bad with a menopause, then, you know, keep going to your doctors till they do something. I know that's easy to say, but yeah, I'm not enjoying it. I'm reading it and I'm like kind of going, what? It's just, yeah, annoying. If anybody's read that, let me know what you thought of it, because yeah, not my favourite. I also wanted to mention book club this month. So if you're watching this in October, our book of October to read is The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. I have read this before earlier this year, so I probably won't read it again before we review it live. But yeah, I really enjoyed this as well. I think I gave this a 5 stars. A very good book. So if you're interested in being involved in an online book club, we pick a book every month. We get suggestions of members of the book club. I put up a poll and then we vote for which one we're going to read. So yeah, you get to read lots of different things that you might not pick up yourself. So yeah, October's was The Remains of the Day. So if you have read it or you've got time to read it before we do the live on, I think it's going to be around the 4th of November, something like that. It's the first Wednesday in November that we'll be reviewing this live on YouTube. And I invite people, if they want to be on camera with me, they're very welcome, or if they just want to be in the chat room, that's fine too. If anybody's also seen the film of The Remains of the Day, it would be great for you to get in on the live chat so you can discuss the film, so we can see how different it is to the book. But yeah, that is the book for October. And now for the part I'm really excited about, the bookish calendar. Yeah, Advent calendar. So I saw this on Amazon and I thought, I think this was about 6 weeks ago. And this is the Bibliophile Advent Calendar for book lovers, in the shape of a book, obviously. And I saw this probably about six weeks to 2 months ago. And I thought, I want it. Do I want it? I put it in my wish list, and it wasn't out. It only came out a couple of days ago, and I got it yesterday. So yeah, I decided to go for it. It was £32, which on the whole isn't bad for an advent calendar. And I did have an idea of what was in it, because it does give you a little bit of a description on the Amazon page. And this is a advent calendar by, I think the woman's name is Jane Mount. I put it on the screen because I can't quite remember her name. It'll come with a little leaflet inside of it, and it says, celebrate 24 days of literary love by enjoying a new mini book every day. Each mini book includes either trivia or a question made for book lovers. Once you've enjoyed each book's splendour, shelve it in the little library provided inside. This deluxe advent calendar will create a perfect holiday tradition for years to come. I think the lady's name is Jane Mount, but like I say, I'll put it on the screen. So I did have an idea of what was in it. So it's got a little bow, little velvet ribbon on the side to open it. We'll just open it up. And that's what it looks like inside. So it's got little boxes for each day, 24 days. And then this is the little bookshelf on this side for you to put the little books in once you've opened them and read them. They're not books. I have had a look inside of them. They're not books as in a story. I am going to take 2 or 3 out and read what's in them. So if you're going to buy this calendar and you don't want spoilers, then maybe turn off now and come back at the end. So yeah, 24 little boxes. So I'm not going to be able to hold it up and look at the little boxes at the same time. So I'm just going to pick out 3 at random. So we'll pick out day 3 first and we'll have a look at that one. Now I am going to have to put my specs on for this. So it's a little book. This one says Modern Romance, so you can see how small it is. It's got a little spine on it. It's also got the title on. So if we open it up, it's got today's question and it's got a trivia bit. And today's question is, what romantic story have you read recently? Now this, I think, is ideal, this calendar, if you do book journaling, because you could make each day's question into a journaling page and write something about that and be creative around it. I think that's a good, I'm going to do that myself actually. And on the trivia bit, it says, name the 2 main characters who fall in love in Casey McQuiston's Red, White and Royal Blue. And it's got a picture of the book on there. Now, I've never heard of that. So if you open the little book out, so those were the 2 pages there, and then you can open the book out and it has the answer. So the answer was Alex and Henry. In the book, they are the first son of the United States and the Prince of Wales, respectively. I've never heard of the book, so yeah. And what I do like about these little books, it says, here are some more romance novels you might fall in love with. And it's got the books there with the titles on them, which I thought is a really nice idea. And each one of those little books that you open has got that in it. I think that's a great idea. So if you're looking for more inspiration of things to read, that's really good. What I would say about these little books is the writing is really small. I've got my specs on and I've got good light in front of us, so I can read it, but that is really small writing. So if you have got bad eyesight, you either need a really good reading light or you might need a magnifying glass. And obviously once you have opened and read this little book and done whatever you're going to do with it, then you can just stand it on the little shelf, and you could actually stand this on your bookcase or somewhere, and I think that would look really nice. You can fold this part over so you don't have to see the days and just have this part on show. I do really like this calendar. I think it's so good, and I think £32 maybe a little on the expensive side for it, but yeah, I just love it. So we'll now open door number 10, or pocket number 10, see what this one is. Like I say, I'm only going to do 3, so I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who does want to buy it. And this one is Myths Retold. So each book is kind of a different genre, which is quite interesting. And today's question on this one, authors have been retelling myths for forever, but there's been a recent resurgence. Do you have a favourite example? Again, great for a book journal spread. And the trivia, which 2018 Greek myth retelling novel is narrated by an exiled witch who can lure men into pigs, who can turn men into pigs? I've not heard of that either. But yeah, there's the little things with the little pig on and the little myths from the monsters. And then inside we get the answer, which is, I don't know if that's Cirque or Circe, but yeah, I think I've heard of the book, but I've never read it. And again, inside the little book, here are some other revamped myths you might love. And it's got a list of, well, it's got the spines of all of the books that you might want to read, and it's got a couple of little blurbs on some of them. But I just think this is so cute. And even the covers are really cute as well. That's Medusa. Yeah, so that was door number 10. So we'll just pop that back in and we'll open door 19. Why not? Door 19. And this one says, a book that changed my life. So not a genre, but still a book question. And today's question is, what book altered your entire existence? Can you pinpoint how or why? It's got a little cat on the picture. I don't know if a book has ever altered my entire existence, but I'll have to think about that. If you can answer that question, let me know in the comments below. And the trivia is, what hugely popular book that helps you find or refine your creativity and self-confidence was first self-published by the author using a Xerox machine and sold in a local bookstore? Interesting. Do you know what the answer is? Let's have a look. It is The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It is now published by the Penguin Group and has sold millions of copies. I might want to read that, actually. I haven't heard of that. The Artist's Way. So, I mean, this throws up a treasure trove of more books to put on your list, ideas for your journal, and questions that you really have to think about. I really do like it. And again, it's got absolutely any book can change your life when read at just the right moment. Here are a few that have transformed others. And again, you've got some books that you might want to have a look at. Yeah, that's quite a nice cover as well. So those are 3 that I thought I would open. It also has this little booklet inside called My Year of Reading. So it's you open it out and you can either write down all of the books that you've read this year, or I think what I'm going to use it for is to write each book that I read next year. So it would be nice to think I could fill in all of those pages. And I know some of you that watch this channel could definitely fill in all of these pages with books that you will be reading. So I thought that was a nice little thing. And on the other side, it has got space for you to write the answers to all of those questions that it's asking you. So, you know, a book that changed your life, a retelling of a myth that you enjoyed, you can write all your answers on there to prompt you when you're looking at you're getting out your book journal, or you just want to discuss books with somebody. So yeah, that's a handy little thing. And it also has a day 25 box. Now, I'm not blown away by what's in here. I'm going to show you what it is. So like I said, this is a spoiler, so if you don't want to see that and you do want to buy the calendar, then don't look. But I was a little bit underwhelmed by what is in this. It is a little metal, I'll take the covering off it. It's got a little tissue paper. It's got a little metal kind of tag that says Bibliophile. I guess you could hang it in wherever your reading room is, or maybe on your Christmas tree. Yeah, I'm not blown away by that at all. Maybe something like a little notebook in there would have been nice, just a blank little notebook, or maybe a pen, or yeah, I'm not blown away by that. Let me know what you think. But all in all, I really like that calendar. I'm pleased I did actually press the button and buy it, and I will put a link to it in the pinned comment at the top and also in the description. I forgot to mention on the book club bit, if you did want to join the book club, it doesn't cost you anything to join. We just have a Facebook group attached to it, because it's just easier to discuss books within the Facebook group than it is to discuss it in the YouTube comments. So I will put the link to the Facebook group in the description box below if you want to go over and join us and discuss anything book related that you want to. Bookish gifts, books, things you've read years ago, things you didn't like, anything you want. So I will leave that in the link below. So that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.